In 1993, a TV commercial filmed deep in a shadowy Hong Kong forest, captured something terrifying on camera. The director wanted 6 children, 4 boys, and 2 girls, to dance around in the video. They shot the video and everything seemed fine. But back home, when the director reviewed the footage, he noticed an extra child, a 3rd girl in the background, right behind the last boy. A year later, the boy that was touched by the girl, tragically passed away. This commercial was banned from ever being aired again. No one wanted to face that ghostly presence staring back at them. Welcome to the Glimpse. Hong Kong is a city where the past and the present collide in unsettling ways. Where the dead never seem to stay buried, and where superstition bleeds into everyday life. Over here, more than 1,000 people disappear every year, never to be found, adding to the mysterious vibe of the place. To understand Hong Kong's ghost stories, you have to understand Feng Shui, the ancient art of balancing energy, or Qi, in the environment. From skyscrapers to tiny apartments, every corner of this city is shaped by beliefs about good and bad energy. Take the famous Dragon Gates. Some of Hong Kong's tallest buildings have huge holes carved through their centers, not for design, but tradition. The legend says that powerful dragons live in the mountains surrounding the city. These dragon gates allow the dragons to fly through, on their way to the water for a drink. Block the dragon's path, and it's said you invite disaster, bad luck, financial ruin, or even mysterious deaths. This intertwining of belief and architecture creates an atmosphere where the supernatural feels close, and almost tangible. Hong Kong's unique cultural diversity, a fusion of Chinese traditions, colonial history, and global influences, shapes how its people relate to ghosts. Many families still honor ancestors with daily offerings, lighting incense to appease the spirits. Meanwhile, local cinema has played a huge role in fueling Hong Kong's ghost stories. Films like the legendary Mr. Vampire series blend horror with humor, reflecting the city's unique way of mixing fear with folklore. In Hong Kong, superstition isn't just old wives' tales, it lives in everyday life. From unlucky numbers to eerie encounters, tales of restless ghosts wandering Hong Kong streets are as common as the city's endless hustle. Here, the streets are full of neon lights, but its narrow alleys can become very dark. As night falls, shadows stretch long and a chill creeps in, especially in places locals choose to avoid. During the 7th lunar month, Ghost Month, these areas become even more forbidding, as the veil between the living and the dead starts disappearing. People leave offerings on streets and doorsteps, hoping to soothe restless spirits. And if you fail to respect these rituals, or wander into the wrong place at the wrong time, you might invite more than just bad luck. It is said you could encounter a ghost that follows you home. There's a stretch of highway in Hong Kong that drivers speak of in hushed tones, Tuen Mun Road. Built in the 1970s, this winding, elevated route connects the northern New Territories to Kowloon. It's fast, it's busy, and it has a reputation for something far darker than traffic jams. Locals say the road is cursed. One spirit in particular haunts it, the woman in red. She's described as pale, barefoot, wearing a traditional red dress, the color worn by those who die tragically or take their own lives in Chinese folklore, believed to return as vengeful spirits. Witnesses say she appears suddenly in the middle of the road, forcing drivers to swerve, and sometimes crash. Over the years, the death toll on Tuen Mun Road has climbed far higher than average. So much so that the Hong Kong government has repeatedly investigated the area. But despite upgrades, barriers, and lighting changes, the accidents continued, unexplained, and often fatal. Then in 1993, a photograph surfaced that shook the city. A speed camera mounted near the Castle Peak Road Sand Depot, just beside a particularly deadly stretch, captured something impossible. A series of glowing orange-red lights, and in the middle, the blurred silhouette of an elderly woman. The photo made the front page of the now-defunct Tin Tin Daily, sparking mass panic. The photo was sent to the Department of Transport by a reader, but officials gave no explanation. People began avoiding the road at night. Some say the woman was a victim of an earlier accident. Others believe she was a spirit conjured by decades of trauma and tragedy. But ask any long-distance driver in the New Territories, and they'll tell you, she's still there. Tuen Mun Road, notorious for its spectral encounters, leads travelers into the heart of Kowloon, a district once dominated by the infamous Kowloon Walled City. Once the most densely populated place on Earth, this anarchic enclave at its peak crammed over 50,000 people into a maze of stacked tenements, narrow alleys, and makeshift staircases. Sunlight barely reached the lower levels, and the air was thick with the scent of oil, incense, and decay. It was a city within a city, lawless, chaotic, and alive with secrets. In the late 1980s, Canadian photographer Greg Girard began documenting life within the Kowloon Walled City. His photographs, taken between 1986 and 1992, offer a haunting portrayal of the enclave's dense, interconnected structures and the lives of its residents.
We really wanted to show it as a functioning community, but it worked in ways that were so different than the rest of Hong Kong that we kind of wanted to get to the bottom of that. And most Hong Kong parents told their kids to avoid the place, and most people did.
Girard's work has been pivotal in preserving the memory of the walled city and has inspired various forms of media, including films and video games. The 2006 Hong Kong horror film Recycle features a nightmarish version of the walled city, complete with tortured souls from which the protagonist must flee. Kowloon Walled City was demolished in 1994, and while the buildings may be gone, many believe that not everything left. Today, the site is a serene park. Yet visitors report sudden cold spots, seeing shadows, and hearing the sound of ghostly laughter, echoing through the trees. Some say the spirits of the forgotten people still wander here, trapped in the labyrinth that it once was. These experiences have been documented in local media and interviews. Additionally, photographers visiting the park have occasionally captured anomalies in their images, including light distortions and shadowy figures, which have been examined by experts. They were unable to give a clear explanation. The consistency and volume of reports suggest that something unique remains at the site, a subtle, enduring imprint of the walled city's complex history. Every year, over 1,000 people vanish from Hong Kong streets, many never to be found. While some disappearances have clear explanations, others remain baffling, shrouded in mystery and whispered fear. Between 2011 and 2015, the Hong Kong police received 24,543 missing person reports. While many were resolved, 133 cases remained under investigation as of January 2016. These unresolved cases contribute to the city's aura of mystery and have become fodder for local folklore, making the city a focal point for tales of the unexplained. The disappearances feed local whispers, stories of spirits claiming the unwary or shadows that lure people into forgotten corners of the city. Official investigations often reach dead ends, adding to the unresolved tension. In a city where tradition and modernity intertwine, the line between fact and folklore blurs, making these disappearances not just tragedies, but part of Hong Kong's living, breathing ghost story. One of Hong Kong's most persistent ghost stories comes from the City University of Hong Kong, specifically a bathroom tucked away in the yellow zone. For years, students have talked about a ghost haunting the ladies' restroom. Some students speculate that the spirit belongs to a female student who took her own life in the stall after failing her exams. Others claim it's the ghost of a male construction worker, killed in a tragic accident while the building was being built, forever doomed to wander the site where he drew his last breath. The story took a stranger twist when the university allegedly converted the ladies' bathroom into a men's, not for practical reasons, but spiritual ones. According to traditional Chinese beliefs, adding more yang qi, or masculine energy, was a way to drive out the dark lingering yin forces, said to attract spirits. And while some skeptics chalk it all up to superstition, or perhaps just an imaginative explanation for why the men's bathrooms lack bidets, the legend refuses to die. Ask any student who's had to use that restroom late at night. They'll tell you, sometimes, you're not alone. Tucked deep in the lush hills of the New Territories, Bride's Pool is a picturesque waterfall, a popular spot for hikers, couples, and photographers. But behind its beauty lies a chilling legend that refuses to fade. It is said that many years ago, a bride was being carried in a traditional sedan chair on her wedding day. As she and her party crossed a narrow, slippery path near the waterfall, one of her porters lost his footing. The sedan tipped, and the bride plunged into the pool below. She drowned before anyone could save her. Some say she never left. Visitors have reported hearing soft sobbing near the falls, especially at night. Others claim to have seen a figure in red standing at the water's edge, with her face hidden beneath a bridal veil. Step too close, and the air becomes ice cold. But the curse, it seems, extends beyond the forest trail. Just a few minutes away, Bride's Pool Road has become one of Hong Kong's most notorious accident black spots. Since 2004, at least 12 people have died in tragic crashes on a single, winding stretch of the road. Over 100 traffic accidents have occurred here, many unexplained. Some blame the sharp turns and poor visibility. Police reports often cite reckless driving, calling the road a magnet for daredevils speeding through the countryside. But locals believe something darker is going on. Some say the ghost of the drowned bride wanders the road now, confused and angry, still waiting for a wedding that never happened. Before Hong Kong became a global financial hub, it was a British colony, and a battlefield. From colonial opulence, to wartime horrors under Japanese occupation, these eras left scars, and sometimes, spirits. Victoria Peak once belonged to the British elite, a mountaintop retreat of mansions, cigars, and servants. Today, it's luxury apartments and lookouts, but it is said that sometimes you can hear music playing from empty rooms. They say the dead up here are quiet, but they never left. In Wan Chai stands a building named Nam Ku Terrace, a red brick mansion with a blood-stained past. Built in the early 1900s, it became a Japanese military brothel during World War II. Women were held here against their will. Many never made it out. Now abandoned, the house pulses with fear. Visitors report screams, cold gusts, and ghostly figures staring from broken windows. One infamous incident in 2003 involved schoolgirls who snuck in for a thrill, and left in hysterics. The two girls were hospitalized. The people speculated that the girls were followed by the ghosts. Nowadays the house is still fenced off. Locals cross the street to avoid it. Some wounds, it seems, refuse to heal. In back rooms of temples, and quiet suburban flats, modern Hong Kong still wrestles with ancient fears, not just of ghosts, but of possession. Exorcisms here aren't the stuff of headlines, but they're talked about, and performed discreetly, and often never spoken of again. But they happen more often than you'd think. Taoist priests and Buddhist monks are still called to drive out spirits, with chants, talismans, and fire. Sometimes it's peaceful. Other times, it ends in screams. In 2011, a 15-year-old girl in Kwun Tong attacked her family, claiming a ghost had entered her during Ghost Month. Neighbors reported hearing strange chanting and cries echoing through the building. Within days, the family left the apartment. It stayed empty for years. This wasn't an isolated case. Across Hong Kong, stories emerge of people speaking in strange voices, convulsing, or falling ill for no medical reason, only to recover after a spiritual ritual. Hong Kong's traditions keep the spirit world close. Every year on Chau Island, the Bun Festival draws crowds with its towering towers of steamed buns. But beneath the festive cheer lies a serious ritual, meant to appease restless souls. According to local legend, the festival began to calm a plague spirit that once haunted the island. During the celebrations, people light incense, offer prayers, and carefully follow rituals to keep evil spirits at bay. Visitors say that when the festival is over, a hush falls on the island. It seems like the spirits have been pleased. At least for now. Hong Kong is a city of paradox, where skyscrapers reach the clouds, but ghosts walk in the alleys below. Where ancient rituals live alongside modern hustle. Here, history never truly sleeps. The colonial ghosts linger in opulent heights. The drowned bride weeps by hidden waterfalls. And the spirits of tradition keep watch during the festivals. This city's heartbeat is entwined with stories of the unseen, the unexplained, where the living and the dead coexist in a delicate balance. In Hong Kong, the past isn't just remembered. It's alive. And sometimes, it's watching. If you have suggestions on what places ghost stories you want to see next, drop it in the comments. Also, I want to thank our paid members, and regular subscribers too, for the support. I appreciate it a lot, and it helps more than you think. See you next time.